coming financial year. Well, that concludes the presentation scheduled for this AGM. Anything to add, Chief Executive?
Well, I'd just like to congratulate the board on another excellent year.
Hear, hear.
Well done, everyone.
Yes, indeed. So I can now open to questions from shareholders who will be joining us remotely this year. And I see the first one coming from the annoyingly ethical pension group. Your question, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Can I ask how the fine environmental words we've heard today can be squared with ongoing vast financial support for ExxonMobil and its ultra-deep-sea oil drilling off Guyana? Billions more barrels of oil is the last thing the world needs, when existing reserves far exceed what can be used. So we're funding a company to drown itself in stranded assets. Isn't this like a new kind of predatory lending?
I think you may have misunderstood the bank's involvement. You see, for a globally systemic bank to maintain capital strength and earnings performance, we must prioritise ongoing excess capital with a common equity Tier 1 ratio that drives a sustained dividend payment.
You're still sharing.
With a combined return on tangible equity that supports the increased liquidity requirements of the group balance sheet prior to the eventual reduction of our position to its end state level. I do hope that clarifies. So no one would compare us to predators. Wouldn't you agree, Director?
Yes, very clearly put. Anything further?
It's not just ExxonMobil. We need to divest from fossil fuels overall. Coal power plants are closing across Europe, but Barclays has pumped billions into European coal in recent years. If disinvestment doesn't happen soon, profits will slump and you directors will be history.
Well, our new energy policy does introduce finance restriction thresholds on thermal coal. And although the global macroeconomic environment has been greatly weakened by the pandemic, the underlying strength of our business and the resilience of our diversified model makes us very well placed to weather the storm. So I certainly hope we won't be history for a very long time. Chief Executive, would you like to add to that?
I'd like to reassure shareholders that the board takes full personal responsibility for the bank's performance, and our resolution for alignment with the Paris Agreement underlines our commitment to decarbonisation.
You don't seem to understand the urgency. That resolution changes virtually nothing now, has no exit date for coal, no restriction for fracking outside Europe, and vague, distant ambitions in place of targets. But right now, CO2 levels are their highest in 3 million years. We're on course for making much of the planet uninhabitable. Climate change is driving the loss of dozens of species every day. We're causing Earth's 6th mass extinction, and if we don't act now, the big species extinction could soon be us.
I'm sorry, I can only laugh at that kind of exaggerated doom-mongering. There's no danger of extinction for us. This isn't the Greenpeace AGM, you know. Yeah.